Train to Busan is directed by Sang Yeon and was released in 2016 and is a South Korean zombie action horror film starring a cast of amazing Korean actors that I don't know the names of. What can I say about this movie? This movie was absolutely incredible. I loved every single minute of this movie. It was emotional. It was actually really scary. It was innovative. It was fresh. It was unique. It was extremely thrilling and also incredibly sad. This will be a spoiler review since it was released in 2016. So from this point on, I'll be talking about spoilers. So if you have not watched it, definitely watch it and come back to this review. So, what can I say? I loved just how the characters were handled in this film. The message of this movie at its core was a message of empathy over self-preservation, because it's a lot of cliches in horror zombie movies is the quarantine, that it's us or you're with them, or if you're one of us you will die, and just saying if you are even the inkling that you might be infected, then we want you to be dead because you can infect us. But this movie kind of has a bit of an emotional spin on that certain ideology that a lot of quarantine infection zombie movies have, where there is a scene towards the end of this movie where there is a certain minor character sacrifices her life to help an old lady get through a door to the next section of the train that is safe. And when all the train passengers are fighting over who needs to, she's just away in the corner just looking at this girl who sacrificed herself just before she becomes into that zombie state, and she says thank you so much for, and then of course she becomes a zombie just like the rest of them. Now the zombies in this movie aren't like your typical regular zombies where they are just they're really fast. They are really fast. They run so fast in this movie, and they twitch. They bash their hands against whatever they can find, and they bite everything. They are the scariest zombies I've seen that are not, the grotesque Dead Space like necromorph zombies, which is extremely disgusting and disturbing. But they are human zombies. They don't actually mutate, different more limbs or become dismembered. They are still in the human state, but they love to run really fast and they love to bite anything they get their hands on. Now, they are practically useless in darkness, which is another thing that this movie likes to bring up, is that once they go into a tunnel, they can distract zombies with sound instead of light. And that was a nice touch. Now, the movie kind of revolves around the relationship between this young child and his father's like a workaholic, and he never gets to see a daughter and things like that. And also he at the start he's kind of for like self-preservation, like I'm saying. Don't become like that, because if you become a hobo you won't have a job, and the only thing that the daughter cares about is like empathy, caring for other people, and she hates that her father is like that. But at the same time she wants to develop a more profound and more real connection with her father, and that's why I think they go on this trip, because they want to go back to their mother. And that's kind of the goal of the film. They get this train that is quarantined with zombies, and they keep the zombies off in one area of like the train, and they have to go all the way to Busan, which is the safe haven, where all the military's at and where they are protected. But spoiler alert, this movie has an incredibly sad and emotional ending. I'm just gonna spoil it right here, but the main character, which is the father, after an extremely valiant fight against all the zombies, and as soon as they think that you think he's gonna make it, unfortunately a zombie just gets a tiny bite in his hand, and he realizes basically from that point on he is basically fucked, and then the child breaks down in tears and she screams and she cries, "No, I don't want to go, please, I don't want to go," and it breaks your heart, and he commits suicide by jumping off the train before he becomes a zombie. And that cut deep. That was a very, very emotionally powerful and sad scene. And then she takes care of the woman, which is the only one left, the little child, and they walk through the dark tunnel, and she's singing the song that he sung to his dad, and then of course the military find them and they realise that they're not zombies, and then the movie just ends like that. There's no more after that. But damn, this might actually be one of the best zombie movies I've seen in my life, and I've seen Shaun of the Dead, and I haven't seen 28 Days Later, but I have seen a number of zombie movies. I've seen Zombieland, which is also another comedy, Iron Legend, which was a drama, but this was definitely the most emotional and probably one of the scariest. I mean, there aren't too many jump scares, but the feeling of dread and tension is always ever present in this movie, and it makes you feel really sorry for the situation that the country of Korea is in this movie, because you really feel bad when you see everyone becoming zombies. It really does invoke a sense of panic, which is great, because we're so tired of the slow, dull, stupid zombies that don't do anything. These zombies are really fucking scary. I mean, they run faster than most sprinters I've seen. So if one's on your tail, you better run the hell out of there, or they're gonna rip you to shreds. And I liked that. I liked how the zombies were portrayed in this film. But yeah, one of the best zombie movies I've seen, and I am straight up going to give it a 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go see it. The reason I saw it today was because since the movies are reopening, I was able to watch this again. Well, I mean for the first time in a theatre. It was a very small theatre, but I still got to see it in a theatre, which was great. But I've gone on about it for as long enough. I do feel like this is a masterful zombie film, and if you haven't seen it, go see it. Alright, that's it.